Welcome to Big Blend Radio, where we celebrate variety and how it adds spice to quality of life. Welcome, everyone, to the Big Daily Blend. Today's question is, do you prefer chunky or smooth? That's right. We're talking about peanut butter because today, January 24th, is National Peanut Butter Day, and I do love peanut butter. I love it on bread with some, jelly or jam, some honey. I even love peanut butter with bacon on a burger. Yep, one of those weirdos. Peanut butter on celery or ants on the log for kids, right? It's a healthy, delicious treat. Actually, when I was looking at the health benefits of this, check it out. It is a rich source of dietary fiber, vitamin E, pantothenic acid. I don't know how to pronounce that, but there you go. Folate, niacin, and vitamin B6, and it has it's high in the dietary minerals that we need, like manganese, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, copper, and sodium. Well, that's usually added as salt when they make it. And it's also a moderate source of thiamine, riboflavin, iron, and potassium. It's also said that peanut butter is good for the planet. Way back when, in around 1917, actually, we were actually using more peanut products during meat rationing. This is actually the government said, hey, let's have meatless Mondays, and peanut butter was the replacement. Nowadays, we have meatless Mondays as, looking at going vegetarian or vegan. Also watching our footprint. What are we doing? Our carbon footprint on the planet. So what's interesting is we're still doing that, and a lot of people are eating like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich instead of maybe a beef steak sandwich or a chicken sandwich on a Monday. And I just found out this. Check it out. If you have just one PB&J instead of red meat, you're going to be shrinking your carbon footprint by almost 3.5 pounds of greenhouse gas emissions. You'll save 133 gallons of water and 24 square feet of land per each peanut butter and jelly lunch. That sounds pretty good to me. And you know what? I really love it on toast. Peanut butter toast with honey. Ooh, add a little cinnamon sometimes. I know some people like to add banana. I'm all into the honey. Let's do the honey. Maybe the bacon, but that wouldn't help the carbon footprint, I suppose, but still. Anyway, let's go to some history. Apparently, peanut butter can be traced back to the Aztec and Inca civilizations. They were grinding the roasted peanuts into a paste. Kind of like if you think a lot of our ancestral peoples here in the States grind acorns and use that as a paste. So it happens in a lot of indigenous cultures around the world will use some kind of legume or nut. And right, peanut is not a nut. There's about they're saying that the U.S. National Peanut Board credits 3 modern inventors with creating patents to produce what we call modern peanut butter. That's what we have today. The first one is Marcellus Gilmore Edson of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And he got the first patent for producing peanut butter from roasted peanuts using heated surfaces. This is back in 1884. In 1894, a businessman from St. Louis called George Bale produced and sold peanut butter as a snack food. And then, here you're going to know this name, John Harvey Kellogg, the breakfast cereal man. He was really all about using plant foods as a healthier dietary choice other than meat. And he created a patent, he was issued a patent for a process of producing elementary products. And that was part of it. He was boiling peanuts, and that's how he created them into a paste. And they were actually used in some of the health areas. People that needed to be able to get some protein in without having to chew, they were using peanut butter. It was also food for wealthy people. Nowadays, that's like, hey, let's save some money and eat some peanut butter. But back in the day, it was a food source. Okay, so this is interesting. An early peanut butter making machine was also developed by Joseph Lambert, who worked with John Harvey Kellogg, and so he also and Dr. Ambrose Straub. So everybody was in on this in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and in 1922, a chemist known as Joseph Roosevelt he created a process for making smooth peanut butter, and he did that by keeping the oil separated by using what we now know as partially hydrogenated oil. And so he actually created a company called Peter Pan Peanut Butter in 1928, and then he started producing his own peanut butter under what name? Skippy. We all know Skippy. And so that was a big deal of creating smooth peanut butter. But then he started creating actually the first chunky style peanut butter when people started wanting those little bits. We want to chew on those peanuts in there. Then in 1955, yes, the medical company Procter and Gamble. Who knew? They created a peanut butter brand, and guess what this is called? Jif. We all know Jif, don't we? Go in the market. Yeah, who knew that it was Procter and Gamble back in 1955 who created that? And they also used molasses in their sugar and molasses, so they made it sweet. So that's their credit. And then we're also known some little history slang. Peanut butter, and during World War II was a big deal, but it was called monkey butter. I have no idea why, but it was also popular in South Africa. They had someone create it at the Alderton Limited Corporation in Potgietersrus, which is now known as Mokopane. That's an area in South Africa. They created peanut butter under the brand Tiger Brands, which then became Tiger Oats Company, and now it is known as the Black Cat, and it still produces peanut butter to this day. And then over in Suriname in 1783, here's a little cool history. They were using a related dish called peanut cheese. Basically, it's pinda dokunu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right at all. And that was a more modern peanut butter, and they cut it and served it in slices like cheese. So it's almost like doing tofu, I suppose. And that is referred to as pindakaas in Dutch. The Dutch used peanuts as well, and pindakaas means peanut cheese. Actually, in Afrikaans, kaas is also cheese, and Afrikaans is obviously like the Dutch derivative of South African language. Anyway, so yeah, it's been around the world. It's a global staple. It's delicious. And now we're going to turn the show over to Donna George in Yuma, Arizona, who owns the Peanut Patch. She's going to talk about peanuts, peanut butter, which you can get there, peanut brittle. She has awesome peanut brittle, all kinds of good stuff in her store and online. And she talks about medjool dates. So we're going to get a little bit further than peanut butter today, but that's why we're the blend. Thanks for tuning in. Hey everyone, we're with Donna George, who is the owner of the Peanut Patch in Yuma, Arizona. Yuma is a beautiful destination, lots of sunshine. It's on the banks of the lower Colorado River, I should say. It's also home to the Yuma Crossing National Heritage Area. We love it out there. Lots of bird watching, lots of time in the sun, lots of history, a lot of history, and a lot of agriculture. And that's where the Peanut Patch comes in. Today, Donna's going to tell us some fun facts about peanuts. She's also going to talk about peanut butter, which is what they make in the store, which is different than what you're going to find on store shelves in regular grocery stores. And she is also going to tell us a little bit about dates, because Yuma is also well known for medjool dates. So welcome back, Donna. How are you?
I'm doing great, and thank you for having me. It's great to be a part of this. And yes, peanuts are a great healthy item for us, and so are dates. They're both very nutritional for us.
Well, let's talk about peanuts. Now, I know some people have peanut allergies, right? Well, as
Correct.
I've been apparently aging, this happens to us, they say, I started getting like a tree nut thing. Like I can't eat tree nuts like I used to.
Oh man.
Sometimes if the cook, yeah, it completely sucks. Okay. Because but peanuts, I can eat.
Awful.
Yeah, but I can have peanuts. So, it's two different things. So,
because peanuts aren't nuts.
And it's a protein, especially if you're vegetarian, vegan, it's great for kids.
Right.
Yeah. I love peanuts, and I share them with the birds too, because, if I,
Oh,
and
yeah, they love them
squirrels, sorry, it can't just be all about me. Our Nana always said you got to give one
Oh,
back to God, and that's nature. And, you got to feed who's around you. You've got to share. But I love seeing
yeah,
squirrels get them. But yeah, the thing at the peanut patch, you sell them in shells, and they used to, peanuts, actually used to be grown in Yuma in shells, out of shells. And then you have all those delicious sweet treats like the turtles and peanut clusters and all that. But a peanut is a legume, so it's not a nut, and that's why I can eat them, right?
correct.
Because they're actually
That's
beans
right.
or peas.
They're actually part of the vegetable family. And
Aren't
people
they?
think they're nuts. So they're like, wow.
So if you're like me and you can't eat pecans anymore, you can eat peanuts. Um,
Yes,
and
generally,
aren't
yes.
they good for the soil? I've heard that there's good nutrition from them,
Oh,
that they
yes.
put nitrogen.
Yes, they have nitrogen nodules on the roots of them, and so they really put back nitrogen into the soil. So they're a great rotating crop. If you're in an area that you're growing something that takes the nitrogen out, the peanut plants will put it back. So
I
yes,
like
they
that.
are very good for it. Hmm.
Okay, so they're good
And
for us
you
and
were
then protein. Go ahead.
you were mentioning how it's great for people who are vegetarian because they're loaded with protein, and yes, they have a lot of fat in them, but it's the good fat. It's not
Hmm.
the bad fat that we take in, so it doesn't usually affect your cholesterol. They have lots of vitamins and minerals in them, and so actually they're very healthy for us.
And then the thing about peanut butter, I want to touch on that because a lot of times when we go to a grocery store, we'll just grab a jar of peanut butter and not realize. I try to get as old fashioned as possible. I want to see the oil on the top. I still want some crunch in there if possible. But now we're seeing them, if you don't read the label, that you could be buying peanut butter loaded with sugar and salts and things that you didn't
Oh yeah.
realize. So tell us a little, isn't that kind of a huge deal for people to come and just get fresh peanut butter from you?
Yes, because we grind it here. It's nothing but peanuts. We do not add anything. Now, we do have salt because some people want salted peanut butter, and we just grind salted peanuts. But our peanut butter is nothing but peanuts. We don't add any oils. We don't add anything else, and there definitely isn't any sugar in it.
Mm.
So it's a very healthy product. And yes, the oil will rise to the top, and so you have to stir it before you use it because otherwise you're going to use up all the oil first
Hmm.
because it rises to the top.
One thing too, I know that, Nancy and I pet sit as we travel the country, right? And one thing we
Oh
notice
yeah.
too is, well, not notice, we do. We feed um, dogs their pills through peanut butter. Peanut butter is the
Yes.
dog's best friend. They love it, and it's good for them. It's one of those treats. But again, look at the label, right? Whatever
Exactly.
you're worried about feeding yourself, you should be worried about what you're feeding your dogs. I just want to
Oh yeah.
remind people of that. Like when I talk about eating peanuts and sharing them with the birds, it's usually peanuts that are shelled or don't give them salted and oiled and all of that.
No,
You
do
know,
not give them salted peanuts.
no, don't do that. It's the same thing as don't give bread to ducks in the park. That swells up in their stomach. It's not good for them. There's actual pellets and stuff you can get. Um, so it's I have to talk about the animals. We love our animals, but that's the thing. You have those in shelled, and I don't know, man, Donna. I like being able to open up the shells. It takes me back to my childhood of like, snapping peas and actually doing something instead of, we were talking about this on the show the other day about actually not having everything over packaged and delivered. You know what I mean? Where you can actually know what the peanut looks
Yes,
like in its shell. I don't think a lot of people
exactly.
even know. Does that make
Oh
sense?
yeah,
You
that does
know,
make sense.
yeah.
Oh yes,
I
it does.
And it slows you down a little bit too from over because I will eat a lot of peanuts.
Well, it makes you chew what you have in your mouth a little longer because you have to work at what you're getting. And so while
Mm,
you're eating the two that you got out, you're cracking the next one. So it does
yeah.
slow you down for sure.
I like going, see now everyone needs to come see you that, is in like those Roadhouse bars where you can have peanuts and then you have all the peanut, shells on the floor. We used to throw them at people like while they're eating. We'll just like see if we can
Oh
fling it
no.
and hit some, not a whole bunch, but just for fun. Just like, if there's a kid, how kids look over at you,
Yep, I do.
while you're eating.
Hmm.
You got to fling a little peanut over there. You know what I mean? That's fun. It's
Okay.
fun. It's just naughty. You know what I mean? Those peanut shells are
Oh yeah.
good. Good mulch for your garden too, by the way. Just
Yes.
saying.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I know we went on a whole other peanut tangent, but I also want to go, peanuts are really good. One thing, um, is on the road trail mixes and things like that, snacks, because I will eat too much candy. You know that about me. And you
I
have
know.
all the
Yep.
candy in the store. But on the healthier side, peanuts, I think anything to do with peanuts and peanut butter, save me on the road and keep me going where you don't have that high and low of sugar. There's
Right.
something very
Yep.
sustainable about, and you've done road trips too, that if I don't know what it is, but I think that's the key is peanut butter has saved my butt and peanuts, trail mixes, those kinds of things, granolas that you can chew on while you're driving. When people road trip across the country or just, if you're always on the road and driving and sitting in traffic and need to eat and actually have some sustenance, I think a handful of peanuts will be good for you.
It would. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah. You sell granolas, right? And trail mixy
Yes,
kind of.
we sell trail mixes, granolas. Oh yeah,
Ooh, I like
definitely.
that. Now let's go to the dates, the medjool dates, the royal medjool dates that Yuma is known for. And what's so great about them is they can grow them without pesticides. They do grow them organically,
Yes.
and really there's no need, honestly, right? From what I've heard, because there's no
From
pests
what I
there.
understand,
Yeah.
not that's bothering the dates. Yep.
And so if you want that
So
sweet treat, that's a healthy sweetness, right?
it definitely is. Definitely
Ooh.
is. And they're the ones that are fit for a king because they are the big, juicy ones, you know.
And and you
So,
can stuff them, like, if you're having a
oh,
gathering. Oh
yeah.
man,
You can put cream cheese and different nuts
bacon.
in them. You can put peanut butter in them. You can wrap them in bacon.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
they are great hors d'oeuvres. Definitely.
Ooh, so now you
Great.
have them there at the peanut patch that people can get
Yes, we do. Yes, we
in
do.
store, online. Oh
Um,
my gosh. So
yes,
talk about eating local, right? Um,
exactly.
oh, wow. Do they come in different sizes and do you have the baking ones or do you have to
Yes,
get
we
different
do.
dates for baking? Oh, you do have baking ones. Wow.
Well, we have different grades. So they grade
Okay.
dates according to their size and their moisture content. So if you're
Okay.
baking with them, you're going to add water, you're going to add some kind of fluid. So you don't need them to be the, juicy dripping kind. You can use a little drier date. And depending on what you're doing with them would depend on what you want to use, what grade you would want to use. So we have
Hmm.
cooking, we have extra fancy, we have large, and then we have the jumbos. Oh, jumbo are big and juicy.
Mm. Oh man, I
Yeah.
remember freezing them. I'm putting them in the freezer
Yes.
because they don't quite freeze hard. So it's like when you freeze grapes, it's like that.
Yes.
And then it was like instead of ice cream or something really naughty you shouldn't have, this was like a good treat in the middle of, summer. And it does
Exactly.
heat up in Yuma. I'm just saying, you're the sunniest place on earth. Thank you to Guinness World Book of Records, right? Um,
Exactly.
so freezing those dates are good. And oh, date shakes. That's something about Yuma is getting a date shake.
And
Does
we
anybody
carry
do that?
date shakes.
You
Yes,
what?
we
You
carry
do it?
date shake. Yes, we do.
Oh my gosh. I did not know that.
Um, yeah, usually not till about November because once you fill the machine with milk,
Hmm.
with the milk stuff, you need to make sure you're turning it
Yeah, yeah,
frequently
that's a big
because,
deal. Yeah. Hmm.
you don't
Yeah.
want to have it go sour on you
Yeah,
because
because
that's
the dates are,
kind of a
yeah, and the
nasty mess.
dates to make the date
Um,
shakes is a really big deal because they're tough. You know what I mean? Even though they're soft and,
yeah,
and juicy, It's not the same thing. Yeah, it's different. It's a different kind of, a
Right.
date shake is a whole other experience. And I'm so
Right.
glad you're doing that. Actually, now that I think of it, I did see that on Facebook that you had them, and I was like, you go, girl. Donna's got the date
And
shakes.
yes, and we use real dates. We grind them and um, put them in, you know, in the shake. So
Oh,
it's
man.
not just about, you know, the powder or whatever. We
Mm,
use the real date.
mm. Oh, man.
So it
That
makes
sounds,
it, yeah,
oh, man, that sounds
makes it
so
a lot more
refreshing right now.
tasty. Yeah.
Yeah, so thinking about it for gifts, I think Medjool dates are a good gift, as well, because like you were saying, they're the royal Medjool date, they're fit for kings,
Hmm.
and it's a specialty. It's not like the dates you see in a grocery store of people. These are delicacies
Oh,
as far
definitely.
as, yeah, and everyone should have it. And I highly recommend the bacon and the date.
Oh, you like
Those
it
two.
with the bacon, okay?
And the jalapeno pepper. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Wrap them
Oh,
with the
yeah.
bacon.
Okay, there
Oh,
you
yeah.
go. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
A little bit of cheese, a jalapeno pepper. I'm
Southwestern
in.
treat there.
Or green
Yep.
chili. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing I love is like, the Southwest, it's amazing what agriculture comes out of the Southwest, that people think the Southwest is one big desert, and it's not. And not everyone thinks that, but you know what I mean? And what you have in your backyard is so incredible in Yuma, and then the rest of Arizona. We've got wineries in Arizona, we've got Medjool dates in Arizona, and they started there. And I know up in California they started too, but Yuma was the first. I'm just saying. I gotta just,
Oh, yeah.
that I'm just saying Yuma got it first. And, it's like there's so much to taste and experience, but having that Southwest flavor, you've got to go. I know, Donna, you've got a great website where people can order at thepeanutpatch.com. But if you can go to the peanut patch itself, go get the fresh peanut butter right there. Um, go have a date shake and go on a peanut patch tour. You're going to have a good time. So thank you
Oh,
so much,
definitely.
Donna. It is always a pleasure to have you here on the show. And everyone, again, thepeanutpatch.com.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio. Keep up with our shows at bigblendradio.com.